Welcome back to the Eel Tank, or welcome to the Eel Tank. If this is your first time joining us, Mark Janes and Lance Scheib set to bring you the second half of a doubleheader. Traveling trophy one already claimed by Kevin Rounds and the Bulldogs of Monrovia. The final 46-32. They get their first win of the season, improved to 1-4, while the Eminence Eels fall to 2-4. The attention shifts to the season opener for the Eminence Eels and Monrovia Bulldogs and their coaches, both in their first year. Kevin Bradshaw, with plenty of connections to the program in Monrovia. He is countered by Nick Hinojosa, who's been an assistant for a few years at nearby Cascade High School and getting his first shot at a head coaching job at Monrovia. As I said, happy to be joined by Lance Scheib, and first game jitters, always a concern. We'll see how this thing unfolds.
Anxious to watch how both these teams start finding themselves. That's probably the one thing as a coach. You see a lot of things in practice. How's that going to transfer to a game? What kids can handle the game-like atmosphere, especially in a place like the Eel Tank here. First game, and I'm anxious to see how both teams execute.
Kevin Bradshaw, as we mentioned, has some ties to the Monrovia program. He was an assistant under Kyle Swafford and also was an assistant football coach there. And it knows some of these kids really, really well. Was familiar with them from his time spent in the program. Been away from it for a couple of years now. But, he said obviously this bowl game means a lot to him from that perspective. But I think more than anything else, he being a lifelong Morgan County resident, a graduate of Mooresville High School, so now he's coached at Eminence, he's coached at Monrovia. He understands the importance of this powder keg. He said, if you don't believe me, he said, just a few days ago I was in a restaurant in Monrovia. He said Bill Gore and his wife came in, and that's all they wanted to talk about with this game. Bill Gore coached here back in the 60s, had some great teams. Bill Gore was an Eminence grad, his wife a Monrovia grad. So they said sometimes on opposite sides, depending on how the seasons are going, but that gives you an idea of the significance of this powder keg basketball game.
What a great game to start the season off with. We talked about this in the first game. That is, this is a game that college kids come back.
Right.
Families are coming back for Thanksgiving. And it's just what you do the night before Thanksgiving if you were at a Monrovia grad or alumnus, or if you went to Eminence. And so I just love games like this. It's a rivalry game, not a lot of love lost here. Should be a very enjoyable game to see.
Kevin Bradshaw said, simply put, we're not very experienced as a basketball team. I returned one varsity player, another kid that played a few minutes, but other than that, it's basically a whole new basketball team here at Eminence High School.
Well, with that said, you've got to try to put your kids in the right spot in games. Both these programs, even if you played last year, this is still new. And this because you're in a different role. Unless all five are back, which nobody has that back, you're still new. You're in a different role, more leadership, less shooting, more defense, less defense. And so this first game is really a find-out game, really the first part of the season, especially in November and early December.
Well, and not only, as you suggest, not only are coaches finding about players, but players that are returning to these programs, regardless of their role last year, they're finding out about coaches, and the same could be said for Monrovia. I mean, Kyle Swafford, a mainstay in the basketball program. We talked about him in the girls' game. He won 2 sectionals as a girls' coach, won a sectional as a boys' coach. He'd been around this program for a long, long time, and boy, all of a sudden, these guys are playing for a new basketball coach when all of these years they thought that Kyle Swafford would be the guy.
Well, it does. It changes your perspective and mindset because there are certain things that Kyle preached that Nick may and vice versa. And so now you see a little bit of that now because you got a feel for it if you're Monrovia because you've been around the new system since the summer and into the fall. But now let's see how it transfers again. That transfer thing I love to be able to see early in the season. What transfers over from the practice? What has to be refocused or refined in practice to allow it to transfer over to the game?
Well, Evan Keaton is the only returning starter. He is a 6'3" junior for the Eminence Eels, so clearly he is a guy that I think Kevin Bradshaw is going to rely heavily upon. For the Bulldogs, I think a couple of guys are really important for them tonight, most notably Todd Kamick. I mean, Todd suffered as a junior, Coach, a potentially career-ending injury in football as a junior. He did not get on the basketball floor until senior night last year, and Kyle Swafford put him on the floor for the last 30 seconds of the game just to say that he had a chance to play, his junior year. He got a little banged up the second half of football season, and quite frankly, Nick Hinojosa has not pushed him at all. He did not play in the scrimmage against Brown County because he needed him tonight. And I think between him and 6'7" Austin Leeds, who has a decided height advantage over everyone else that on the Eminence side, I think those are the two players that will be the keys for them tonight.
Well, I'm anxious to see how Nick Hinojosa kind of does his game plan and what he really focuses on and how he uses what he has, because he does have a huge height advantage. And how does he take advantage of that against a much smaller Eminence team? And so just the cat and mouse and just the coaching early on, I'm anxious to be able to see.
Starting lineups in first quarter action when we come back. It's the battle for the powder keg from the Eel Tank here on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Hi, I'm Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And, of course, we do the incredibly creatively and appropriately named Query and Schultz program every Monday on ISC Sports Network. Derek, it airs at what time?
7:30.
Okay, every Monday at 7:30. We're now on season number 2, and if history tells us anything, catch us now because you never know when they pull the plug on it.
Why would you say that?
Because it's happened
That's not going
before.
to happen here. Comcast, Xfinity 81, ISCSportsNetwork.com, ISC Sports Network, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so many places to watch Query and Schultz, 7:30 on Monday.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Welcome back. Monrovia Bulldogs, Eminence Eels season opener. Boy, those two guys have been plying their trade for many a years. My very first job in broadcasting at WCBK in Martinsville, Indiana. Dave Reinhardt and his brother Randall. Been promoting Morgan County athletes for literally decades. I did 2.5 to 3 minute sports reports on Monrovia athletics. Had to call them in every Friday night by 11 o'clock. This is before cell phones now. And I got paid a whopping $5 a game. And I didn't get paid until the season was over. My deadline was 11 p.m. And if I missed my deadline, any money that I had made was wiped out. And I had to start all over. Like if I got to game 4 and didn't call in time.
Teaches about responsibility, and it's obviously it's paid off because of what you've done since, and it's pretty neat that they were teaching some great life lessons early on to you.
For sure. Dave Keister passed away a couple of years ago. We put that station on the air many, many years ago. Thank you, Mr. K, each and every day with everything I do, for sure. So Anthem taken care of prior to the girls' game, so we'll do for you what they'll do for the folks here and introduce you to the starting lineups for both of these basketball teams. As we mentioned, it's the season opener for both. For Eminence Eels, we talked about Evan Keaton, who is their lone returning starter. He's joined by Holly, Ray, Taylor, and Smith for the Bulldogs. Todd Kamick. Tucker Rand, we'll talk plenty about him and his family lineage in the Monrovia athletic program. Mason McClung. Gavin Followell, a guy with a lot of experience that returned from a year ago. Austin Leeds is the guy. He's at 6'7". He's their inside player. Got a brother, Hunter, who suffered an injury very similar to Todd's, not quite as severe. and they hope to get Hunter back by just before tournament time. May not happen, but if it does, they're both the same height and would really present some imposing figures for teams to have to guard against. And, over the past several years, Monrovia has had the benefit of some size. Josh Smith, who's now, got an outstanding career underway at Stetson University. Max Newman, who's rejuvenated his collegiate career here in the state of Indiana, was a 6'8" player and a 4-year starter for Kyle Swafford. There's a look at John Staniford, your halftime guest in the girls' game. Not a nicer guy, I'm telling you.
Soft-spoken, just has a great presence about himself, happy to be home and coaching basketball now. Again, a great dual sport athlete, and just amazing that he was both an Indiana All-Star football and basketball, and that's a big deal.
Todd Kamick, heady player. I think he's the kind of kid that could easily be a coach someday. I think he's got that kind of mindset about him. He's very humble. He's a we before me kind of guy. There's no doubt about it. So as the lights go out and they introduce the starting lineup for the Eminence Eels, we'll let Coach Scheib give us his keys for both ball clubs to tonight's matchup.
Hey, more than anything else, early on in the season, defense is going to be king. And I think that's, can you play both ends of the floor where you're able to transition from your defense to your offense, but it starts there. Creating offensive tempo is going to be huge. Both teams, again, first game of the season, who will be able to play at their tempo, and then more than anything else, who's going to be ready to compete. You've done it in practice. You've done it all summer. You've done it in the fall. Now it counts. Both programs are excited. We got a packed house here, and that ability to compete is going to be paramount.
Nick Hinojosa in their scrimmage against Brown County last week said the biggest thing that he was concerned about was their inability to close out defensively. And that is what the focus was on practice over the past couple of days, to close out defensively. And he also, while certainly he wants to maintain pace, he wants to maintain some level of control with that pace because he doesn't want to create unforced errors. So take your time and hurry up, if you will. That sort of mindset.
Well, you got the John Wooden is play fast, but don't be in a hurry.
Right.
And unless you've been an athlete, that doesn't really make sense for you. It just means be under control. Do things, know where you're going, and have a plan before, during, and after.
Nick Hinojosa said Austin Leeds, who's getting ready to jump center, I think benefited. Did not play football last year. Andy Olson able to talk him into playing this year, played a vital role on the revival of that football program, if you will, and he thinks the physicality of the game of football made a difference and will benefit Austin. Tap goes to Todd Kamick, and he throws it up just a little short. We'll go back the other way.
Great play off the tip by the Bulldogs, not able to execute and finish there, but a good start.
Dylan Smith runs the point. Aiden Ray is out there with him. Todd Kamick taps it away, saves it back in bounds, and Eminence will redirect.
Todd Kamick, very, very athletic, anticipates very, very well, anxious to see how the rest of the Bulldogs and the Eels, how that transfers over. Can you play with anticipation?
His backcourt mate, Tucker Rand. Todd Kamick with the steal. Smart move. Slows up, lets the traffic clear. He and Tucker plays pitch and catch. Todd Kamick for three.
Big start for the Bulldogs. Great job of being unselfish by Kamick. Got the ball back from Rand and is able to knock it down.
He did not play in the scrimmage. Because of that nagging, lingering ankle sprain from football, Nick Hinojosa said, I know he'll be ready, and there's just no reason to risk aggravating that injury when we can give him an extra 4 or 5 days.
This is a game that counts. The scrimmage is big. It is important. You find out a lot about your kids, but you didn't need to find out a lot about Todd. Knew what he had from the senior, and wanted to make sure that he was healthy.
A hand check foul called against the Bulldogs. Put that one on Austin Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, the hardest thing early on is you don't have officials in practice, and you tend to be real handsy. You've got to play defense with your feet.
Leeds alters the shot down low by Aiden Ray, but the rebound's put up and in for the Eminence Eels. Aiden Ray stuck with it, got his first 2. Kamek quickly back the other way. I think Nick Hinojosa would say he's dribbling a bit too much. Skips it along the baseline. McClung's going to put up the 3. That's deep in the well, no, and the rebound controlled by Evan Keaton.
Great job. That's going to be a big key rebounding here for the Eels. A much smaller team, so it means you got to have a great block out, put a butt in their gut, and then go get that football as a team on rebounding.
16-footer. No. Rebound controlled by Monrovia. Off the miss. Tucker ran in transition. Runs it ahead. Kamek from the wing. Entry pass to Leeds. They should be able to do this all night long. The assist to Kamek, the bucket to Leeds.
Nice
5-2.
job. Nice job by getting the ball into the bigger, stronger Leeds. 6'7", a senior, really was able to use his height to his advantage there.
Followell picks up the defensive pressure. Little head and shoulders move. Leeds partially blocks it to Tucker Rand. Kamek skips it ahead to McClung. Cross courts it to Austin Leeds, up and in. 4 quick ones for Austin Leeds. The Bulldogs heating up in transition. A quick 5-point lead at 7-2.
Nice job of playing in transition. Nice job of going from defense to offense by the Bulldogs here. Now, if you are the Eels, you got to not turn the ball over like they did there.
Followell with a good look up before to Kamek. The lob to Leeds, and he missed the dunk, and a whistle. Walk going to be called on Todd Kamek. That might have brought the Bulldog fans to the roof.
Well, they understand what you have there. Great job by Todd of trying to get the ball over to Leeds. I just wasn't able to get it done.
Kevin Bradshaw wants to take a timeout with his ball club down 5. With Endeavor's ridiculously fast internet speeds, it's now easier for you to watch, work, study, and play all at the same time. Sign up today at join.weendeavor.com. Again, good look at Kevin Bradshaw. Good look at Jim Whitaker. Jim Whitaker standing to Kevin's left, the center of your screen. If you block now, longtime coach of multiple sports at Mooresville. And it's so very, very important to have a coach like that on the bench. Here's a look at the fast break, which led to the easy 2 for Austin Leeds.
When you push the tempo and you do it under control and you will keep your head up, you've got a chance now to have an easy shot, because now you put the pressure back on the defense where they have to come out and stop you.
Dylan Smith. Keaton gets shut off at the free throw line. Skips it. Baseline left. Open shot for Dylan Smith. They'll count the back bucket, and the foul is going to be charged against Eminence on the rebound. So count the basket and put the foul on Aiden Ray. Bulldogs in transition. Followell, the lob to Leeds, got it to fall. Kevin Bradshaw is not going to be happy with his team's inability to rotate back defensively.
You got to stop the ball. We saw that in the first game, lack of ability to do that. Because you have a height disadvantage, you've got to make sure the ball is, that entry pass cannot be that close, or it's going to be a long night for the Eels.
Tucker Rand cutting off the passing lanes. Todd Kamek doing the same. A lot of contact, no call. Leeds leaning in to shut off Keaton. Scramble for the loose ball. Strong move underneath, up and in by Hayden Holly.
Great job by Holly in the middle of the trees there to be able to go up big and strong. 6'2", one of the bigger players for Eminence.
And a foul. Well, it's clear when I suggested to Nick Hinojosa, did he just make up his mind that he was going to focus on getting the ball to Austin Leeds? That appears, I mean, there's no reason not to.
You want to see how is Coach Kevin Bradshaw going to defend the 6'7" Leeds. Get it to him early and make them stop him and show their hand and then adjust.
Fights for the rebound, lost the handle, and it went out of bounds. He wanted to go up for it before he had full control of it off the miss by Tucker Rand.
Team defense and team rebounding are going to be paramount for the Eels against a bigger unit for Monrovia here. Anxious to see if that can continue throughout the game.
3-point lead for the Bulldogs. Evan Keaton. Patient set for the Eminence Eels. Three-pointer, no. All green shirts underneath. Mason McClung with a rebound. They skip it ahead to Todd Kamick. Todd going to pull up. They'll leave him alone for three, and he got it to fall. Guess who the first one was in the gym today for the shoot-around?
I'm going to say Todd Kamick.
Indeed he was.
Well, as a senior, that's what you expect. You want your seniors to lead by example, and when you're the first one there and last one to leave, it sends a big message to your team.
Strong move to the bucket and the finish by Evan Keaton. Again, that's the lone returning varsity player for Kevin Bradshaw. Followell, strong move to the bucket and the finish. Gavin Followell going coast to coast.
Great job by the 6'2 senior, taking the ball, creating defense, and then the turnover, and then getting the ball down and for easy 2 points.
Double team now. Scramble for the loose ball. Out of bounds. It'll go to Monrovia. Substitution for the Bulldogs. Hale comes into the ball game.
And that was the third turnover for the Eels. And it looked like Evan Keaton is having a little trouble breathing, needs a little break.
Dustin Koshishevsky comes in, an outstanding football player for Andy Olson's ball club. All-purpose back. Really good defender. He has the basketball. Followell tracks down the loose ball. They wanted to go to Koshishevsky, but it gets knocked away.
Great job of hands that time by the Eels. Kevin Bradshaw knows that they've got to anticipate, do a great job of probably jump traps and do some things to disrupt this Bulldog team.
Hale with the ball inbounds. You might be familiar with Logan, who's on the staff at UIndy. Logan's younger brother. Logan played at Franklin. Younger brother played at Franklin as well. That Ron Monrovia's 2015 state championship football team. Hale family's been around Monrovia for a long time. Dad Rusty's on the coaching staff.
Good to see Trent out there representing and playing well. 6'3", and a senior. Always love to see your seniors play and play well.
6-point lead for the Bulldogs. 90 seconds to go in period one. Running one-hander across the paint. No good by Michaelis. Hale with the rebound. Skips it ahead to Tucker Rand. Tough pass. Tucker spins it too hard up off the rim and threw it up a little short. Ball knocked away in transition. Followell with it. Crosses over. Strong move. And he'll go to the free throw line.
I like Followell.
He's transition player, no doubt.
He has done. Gavin's done a nice job there of attacking the rim and creating contact. I like his anticipation on defense and like the way he's playing.
6'2 senior. Got a lot of minutes last year. This is their leading scorer at that Brown County scrimmage. He did a really good job of being at the top of the defense and releasing early. And got to credit his teammates for recognizing him getting up the floor. Got a lot of fast break points against Brown County. Hale fights for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Eminence. Hale battles for the ball, kept it alive, and rewards the Bulldogs with an extra possession. Quick one into Leeds. Threw it up a little short, but a foul. Put that personal on Hayden Holly.
That's not what Kevin Bradshaw wants, for you to leave 6-7 leads all by himself 3 feet away from the basket. Holly had no choice but to foul him.
Missed everything.
Leads a little short there. A little short.
You'll hear about that sixth period on Monday, I promise you. Hustle play by Followell. To Leeds. Kamick, deep three. No. Leeds fights for it and drew a little bit too much body. A really good block out by Dylan Crow.
Great job against Leeds. You have to block him out and then back him up.
Right.
Because he's going to be taller. He's going to out-jump you. His second foul, that would be huge for Kevin Bradshaw and the Eels to make sure Leeds is on the bench.
And that's where he goes. So Eminence, if nothing else, matches up better right now. And a cheap foul called on Hale. Trent Hale, the 6'3 senior. McClung's in there with him, along with Kamick. Followell.
Now, Mark, we saw this in the first game, and I'm assuming it's a point of emphasis by the ISSA, the hand checks and the fouls, and you got to play defense without putting your hands on that player, and the officials have been pretty consistent in both games at calling those fouls.
Under a minute to play now. Eminence trails 15-8. Nice give and go through a lot of hands. Double team down low, a lot of contact, no foul. Finally, a tie-up out of bounds. It'll stay with Eminence.
Thought you were going to say a near fall there, because that's what it looked like there. A little wrestling match, and it was certainly was close.
Turned into a rugby scrum on the baseline. Deep inbounds comes to Aiden Ray. He and Smith make a pretty quick backcourt tandem for Kevin Bradshaw.
I think you can do some things with those kids. They really are quick. They're athletic, and they're going to cause some issues moving forward.
Good decision by Holly. Nobody really stepped out to defend him, and he just split the defense and made them draw the contact.
You got to stop the ball. You're going to hear me say it all game. You got to identify where the ball is, stop it. You cannot let Holly, in this case, get that deep into the paint. And again, it's going to be an and one or two shots.
6'2 junior goes to the free throw line, looking to cut that 7-point deficit. Bulldog cheerleaders finished third in the state at Newcastle a few weeks ago. Eminence band sounded in mid-season form tonight. It's a great time of the year.
We're great with Thanksgiving. Basketball starting. You've got football ending this weekend, and it's just great for high school athletics.
Kamick picks the dribble up in a dangerous spot, and a push is going to be charged on Dylan Crow in preparation for our games this weekend. During an 8-day period at the end of October, early November, over 8 days, Brebeuf won 3 championships. 3 state championships in 8 days as a school.
Not bad.
It's a foul on the inbounds.
It's 2 on Dylan Crow real quick in about a matter of about 6 seconds.
They'll look for a 4th this weekend in the 3A title game.
Like their chances. I know it's a game that we have. They're awfully talented, and it should be a great matchup.
(15-9), 10 seconds left in the quarter. Kamick gets it in bounds to Hale. Skips it over to McClung. Three-pointer, yes. 18-9, shot put up at the buzzer. We have played 1 quarter of basketball, and the Bulldogs have gotten off to a pretty good start in the debut for head coach Nick Hinojosa. They lead the Eminence Eels 18-9 after quarter number 1 on the ISC Sports Network.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa, from last to fast, and wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
First quarter score, 18-9 in favor of the Bulldogs, and Nick Hinojosa using size to his advantage by going early and often to Austin Leeds, who has 6 first quarter points. Gavin Followell with 4. That's the difference in this one so far.
They've done a nice job of great ball movement. They've got, if in Monrovia, you've got 4 players that have scored, led by Leeds.
That's a strong move to the rack for sure. And that's tough. I mean, you're going over the front of the rim there. That's not an easy thing to do. 8 points for Austin Leeds, 20-9.
Just shows his athleticism, and really, if you're Nick Bradshaw and these Eels, you've got to find a way to get the ball out of Leeds' hands.
Evan Keaton had some trouble. Couldn't find any help. Kamek goes to the bucket, gets bumped hard to the floor, and will go to the line for 2.
Second foul on Hayden Holly. Nice job by Kamek of pushing the tempo here. Look at here again. Great body control. Gets a shot up. Almost got the N1.
Seven points for Todd Kamek. To the bench, Justin Michaelis, the 5'11 senior, replaces Hayden Holly. Todd is going to be the proverbial straw that stirs the drink, it appears, for the Bulldogs this year. 8 points for him.
And happy to see him back from his football injury with the ankle, and just happy that he's able to have a great and a good start to his senior year.
Foul away from the basketball. Well, as we said, he didn't have a junior year. I mean, devastating injury during his junior year of football. Wiped out his basketball season. And then suffered kind of a re-aggravation of that injury. But with about a month off, appears early on to be close to full strength.
He's moving well. Yeah, I know if there's something lingering, he's not showing it.
And one. Evan Keaton showing the benefit of his experience as the lone returning varsity player, and that's the 3rd foul on Austin Leeds with 7 minutes to go in the half.
Great move by Keaton. Uses the left hand, creates a little contact with Leeds. His 3rd. Austin will be on the bench for a while.
Keaton with 4 points, make it 5. Not going to score high in terms of style points, but he is an effective player, no doubt. Austin Hunt, a 6'6 junior, is a player that replaced Leeds, so they replaced size with size. And the good news for Hunt is the fact that he doesn't really need to be a factor offensively with the other options they have. He just needs to disrupt things defensively around the bucket.
And Austin Hunt's getting some valuable time here. Another turnover.
Kamek can't get it to fall. Might have been wise to back it out and redirect the offense. Credit Eminence for the triple team on the basketball and not giving up the easy deuce.
Great job of just playing that team defense and suffocating there with Kamek and causing the bad shot and creating the rebound.
Evan Keaton couldn't get the running one-hander to fall that time, but Monrovia touched it last.
You talk about bringing in a 6'6 junior in Hunt. This is huge for him to get minutes tonight.
Good shot in rhythm. Came up a little short by Reno Taylor. Battle for the loose ball, and it's controlled by McClung, and a foul. And there is nothing more aggravating than a foul like that is tacked on you so far away from the bucket. Especially when the fouls are starting to mount on the Eminence Eels.
Yes, they are. I think Evan Keaton was a little upset about his miss and compound that miss with a foul, and that's ill-advised as he being the biggest eel out there at 6'3".
6'3" senior Mason McClung to the free throw line. He has a three-pointer on the night, looking to add to the 10-point lead, and does.
Nice rhythm, nice shot there by McClung. Like to see that.
5 points for him now, bumps the lead up to 24-12. 6-minute mark of the second quarter.
Got to find a way to chip away if you're Eminence here. You can't be down double digits at halftime.
That's a great play. Michaelis with the backdoor cut to the bucket for his first two.
Great job by Justin Michaelis of moving without the ball and cutting, and even better by his team.
Kick in the corner. McClung open for three. It's short. Battle for the loose ball. Tucker Rand finds it to Todd Kamick. He'll shoot three and hit. 11 points for Todd Kamick.
I think Nick Hinojosa was smart not playing him in that scrimmage. You need him healthy today, and we're seeing a healthy Todd Kamick.
Aiden Ray gets his pocket picked by Kamick. Tucker Rand to Followell. Followell to McClung. Tucker Rand. McClung. Baseline shot by Todd Kamick. No good. Weak side rebound controlled by the Eminence Eels.
Good job that time by Eminence of just limiting Monrovia to one shot. That's what they got to do if they're going to get back in this game.
Under 5 minutes to play now. Strong move to the bucket. Got the finger roll to fall. Give the bucket to Reno Taylor. That's his first two. And now all five starters have scored for Kevin Bradshaw, so they're sharing the wealth most assuredly.
Eminence is doing some good things. They just have to do a better job of rebounding, and they got to do a better job on the defensive end of the floor.
Officials timeout. Now check that. Nick Hinojosa wants to take timeout and talk things over. Nick Hinojosa had been a long time, well, not a long time, but the last few years been an assistant at Cascade, and lucky enough to be a part of the interview process. It impressed me as, you know, a guy with a lot of intensity, but still very soft-spoken. But one of the questions that I asked him is that, you know, how do you think you'll deal with maybe an overzealous parent, a parent that's a little aggravated, a little frustrated, or you know, something like that, as all coaches have to do from time to time. It's the nature of it. And he goes, well, you know, when I was in college living in Florida, he said, I managed a bar for 3 years. And there is nothing that I encountered at that bar that I don't think that I can't handle when it comes to my public relations as a basketball coach. And I thought that was a great answer.
Well, it was, and it just tells you, just like what has to happen with a coach, he can think on his feet. He's able to understand and diagnose what the problems are, but that is a great response to a tough question.
Well, and, you know, in terms of management, that managing an operation of any kind is very, very similar to what you do as a varsity head coach. You've got to manage it. You're the CEO.
And you got to have good people around you, and you got to make sure that you're able to communicate your wants and needs to your kids.
How about that? Tucker Rand, three-pointer off the dribble.
Huge,
6-foot sophomore gets on the board.
Huge bucket for Tucker Rand.
Nice transition basket by the Eminence Eels, leads to the easy deuce by Aiden Ray.
Good things happen when you share the basketball.
Tucker Rand, nice head and shoulders fake to give and go to Followell. He got it to fall. That's good two-man basketball.
Great give and go move without the ball, and then the great defensive overplay. I have that as turnover number 8.
Tucker Rand forces the turnover. A direct descendant of the legendary Branch McCracken is Tucker Rand, a Monrovia High School graduate himself, before winning a couple of national basketball championships at Indiana University.
The amount of coaches and great coaches that came from this area of the state is just impressive. If you're not aware of who's been here and who's coached.
You passed the birthplace of John Wooden on the way over here. I know he's from Martinsville, but was born in Hall, Indiana, which is not far from here. So Morgan County has a few national basketball championships.
If you like that kind of thing.
That's right.
You've got two of the most legendary, iconic figures in Indiana high school basketball history. I know John Wooden did all his coaching or his major coaching at UCLA, but he left a legacy in coaching.
Bryce Hale gets the good look from Dustin Koshishevsky and has to work a little harder than maybe he wished he had to get a shot off, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Third foul on Evan Keaton. I believe great job by Hale of just hustling and getting the defensive or offensive rebound and putting it back up.
Got that one to roll around and in. Trent Hale, 6'3" senior. Primary contributor for that basketball team at Monrovia. Koshishevsky with the rebound, got it to fall. More points coming off the bench.
That is huge for Coach Nick Hinojosa to get points off his bench. Valuable points, huge in this game.
Good coast-to-coast drive by Dylan Smith. He just could not get it to fall. Substitution for the Eels, Joel Mobley, 6'3" junior comes in. Coming to the sidelines will be Justin Michaelis. Evan Keaton will be the player.
Well, that's
why
sidelines. All of a sudden I was trying to figure that one out, why Michaelis was coming off the game or off the floor when I knew Keaton had 3 fouls.
Good look down low. Shot put up by Mobley. Won't fall, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Was able to get Trent Hale to reach in there. Great ball movement by the Eels. Nice job by Mobley of making himself open and present. Great entry pass as well.
Got the free throw to fall. Eagles have done pretty well from the free throw line tonight as McClung returns for the Bulldogs. I like Smith and Aiden Ray as their guard tandem. Keaton does a lot of good things around the bucket for him. Both free throws good from Mobley. Rand and Hale with under 3 minutes to play. Get the ball up the floor. Followell to Koshishevsky. Can't get it to fall, but it'll go to the line.
Got Mobley on his back. Great job by Koshishevsky there of moving without the ball. Look, again, great movement. Great job of getting to the rim, not able to finish.
Missed that free throw. He's got a couple of points off the bench. Active player offensively. That one rolls around and back out. Hale saves it to Followell. He throws it up a little short. Battle for the loose ball and control to Reno Taylor. Followell picks his pocket. Tucker Rand, strong move to the bucket. Looks like they'll want to reset the offense now.
I like that. Look and take a good look to see, do you have it? If you don't, then reset it. Great move. Goodness gracious.
Dustin Koshishevsky with 4 points, and they're doing all of this with Todd Kamick on the bench, and Austin Leeds on the bench with 3 fouls.
I like the bench play and the contributions that the bench is giving Coach Hinojosa early in this first game.
Todd Kamick getting ready to come back. He has 11 points in the first half.
If your Eminence move without the basketball, one of the hardest things to be able to do. 10th turnover there.
McClung picks up the loose ball. Nice give and go to Followell, and he's there for the easy deuce. Gavin Followell with 8 points. 39-19, 20-point lead for the Bulldogs. Under 2 minutes to play.
If I'm Nick Hinojosa, I'm pretty happy right now. I'm playing pretty good defense. I'm getting some great bench scoring.
Well, I've been impressed with their up-tempo style.
Yep.
I mean, transition basketball. I mean, that's, they have run some good, solid, patient sets in the half court. But, boy, they see the floor very well.
They've done a really good job of transferring from defense to offense. And with the turnover, making Eminence pay tonight. But it's just been, I've been just been impressed with their overall presence and how they played.
Minute 43, Austin Hunt returns for the Bulldogs along with Todd Kamick. Turnaround jumper, 12 feet out on the baselines and no go by Mobley. Rebound controlled by the Bulldogs. Todd Kamick in transition with 90 seconds to play in the half. Rand looking.
Good inside-out movement by the Bulldogs.
Top of the key, three-pointer. No. Tracks down his own rebound. Draws the defense. Kamick, three-pointer in transition is good. 14 points for Todd Kamick off the nice dish from Tucker Rand, who tracked down his own rebound.
Great job by Tucker Rand not giving up on the play and then finding his senior running mate there, Kamick, and was able to knock it down.
Aiden Ray gets the rebound. He can't control it. Shot comes down to Dylan Smith, and Dylan Smith has his fourth point.
Great job by Dylan Smith of not giving up on the play.
Todd Kamick with a rare miss from beyond the arc. Weak side rebound controlled by Reno Taylor. Ahead to Dylan Smith. Half a minute to play.
Got to move without the basketball if you're Eminence.
12-footer on the baseline. Justin Michaelis, 4 points off the bench for Kevin Bradshaw. Bulldogs in transition. McClung for three. Rebound controlled by Austin Hunt. Todd Kamick says, let's slow it down. And Nick Hinojosa wants to take a quick 30-second timeout to draw up one more. So 14 for Kamick, 8 for Followell, 8 for Leeds, 5 for Mason McClung. Dustin Kostrashevsky's chipped in 4 off the bench. Trent Hale with a point. Balanced scoring for the Eminence Eels coach, just not enough of it. About everybody that's been in the ballgame's gotten into the scoring act.
They've done a good job. If I'm Kevin Bradshaw, you've got to knock out a few more shots. Your transition defense has not been great. That's probably been one of the biggest things that he'll look at after this game and say, okay, we've got to do a better job of getting back on defense, stopping the basketball, and then giving ourselves a chance by playing team basketball when it comes to rebounding the ball.
Endeavor Communications offers high-speed service that businesses and residences need to stay ahead. Get the internet performance that makes it all happen ridiculously fast at WeEndeavor.com. 10.6 seconds left. Let's see what Coach Hinojosa drew up. Rand, little head and shoulders fake. Clock starts to wind down now. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it'll go to the Eminence Eels with 5.5 seconds left. I don't think that's what he drew up. Don't you love that as a coach when you come off a timeout and that happens?
It's one of those things that the best late plans don't always happen, and in that case, it certainly didn't.
Time expires without the Eels getting off a shot. So at halftime, 42-24, Monrovia leading the Eminence Eels. And we'll be back with our special guest, the Assistant Commissioner of the IHSAA, Brian Lewis, after this timeout on the ISC Sports Network.
Of the literally thousands, check that, hundreds, check that. Okay, some sports card shows that are out there in the world. The Andy and Bruno show is the one you should watch, because we have Andy, who's been there and done that, everything in the hobby, and is now a mogul.
Mogul?
Yes.
And we have a guy, Bruno, he talks too much. I can't help it.
Watch the Andy and Bruno show and hear me talk too much.
Yes, and hear me smile.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
At Defining Looks on Sagamore Parkway North in Lafayette, talk to a specialist and discuss your specific needs for wigs or toppers. Defining Looks is committed to helping anyone experiencing hair loss to lead a normal lifestyle. Our wigs are of the highest quality, allowing us to customize to your personal style. Shop our large selection for your medical, cosmetic, or fashion needs. Confident, bold, and fashionable. Be your own kind of beautiful at Defining Looks. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Eminence High School at halftime, your score 42-24 as the Monrovia Bulldogs lead the Eminence Eels. Happy to be joined by the newest assistant commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Brian Lewis. And, well, Coach, I tell you, it's kind of been an old home week for you from what I understand. What, you went to Jasper last night? And then you're here at Eminence to watch the Bulldogs. A long history with both schools.
It does. You know, the great thing is to get out and watch our kids play in front of packed crowds at this point in time.